The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to another episode of HBCU Hour presented by the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
Man, tired, dog. But we got football back, so I can't complain at all, my man.
We got some football. NFL is on tonight. Got a college game on, Louisville and Murray State. Great slate of games this weekend. To follow up a great slate of games that we had last weekend. Looking forward to it. High school football. We got Little League football. Just time for that clack clack, man. Time for that clack clack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
It's here. You can smell it in the air.
Man, what it do? What's good, Ben? Tuning in. What's good, Ben? We ain't gonna even talk about that.
DJ Ben Bowden in the building.
Yeah, man. What a week, man. Man, we got some games to talk about, man. There's some rivalries, but you smell that? I smell some HBCU over FBS wins this weekend.
You put an S on that?
Plural.
Wins. Okay. I like it.
I got a couple of them. We're gonna talk about them. Man. But man, I don't even know what to say. I'm excited.
You know, before we get into it, you know what we gotta do first.
Yeah, we do. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey man, so we actually got a question from Ben, man. It's a good question. He asked about, so coach, if you hadn't seen, you can check out on our YouTube page, Mississippi Valley State head coach Kendrick Wade talked about the Chicago Classic. Basically in his statement, Dr. Cavill asked the question about the game. Shout out to Dr. Cavill. It was an excellent question. He asked about the game and the kind of logistics behind it. And Coach Kendrick Wade, it didn't hold anything back. He basically said, as long as he's the head coach, they're not going back to Chicago for that game.
Yeah, he was very candid in his response. He let it be known that he wasn't happy about some of the logistic things that happened, the itinerary schedule, some of those kind of things. I'm not gonna try to repeat his words. Just go, like Pooh said, just go check out on our YouTube page this interview. You can hear him speak for himself. But he it made it seem like that was very challenging, dealing with what they had to deal with on top of playing a football game. So I can understand where his frustrations were coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, when you already and I'll say this, and I just dropped the link in the chat. When you're already kind of dealing with limited resources as is, then you're taking your team from Mississippi to Illinois to participate in the game, which is supposed to be an experience for your players, and then you suffer from logistical errors or mistakes. You're having to deal with things that normally, saying when you should be focusing on a game, and you have to worry about, saying, hey, where should we be next? What's up with, saying the meals or what's going on? And I'm not saying that's what he said, but when you have to worry about these extra things, it becomes a distraction. So kudos to Coach Wade for, saying stepping up and speaking out, because things like this can really shed a light on some of the issues that we have when it comes to things like classics. Classics are supposed to be almost a huge recruiting tool, but when it's saying harmful to your program building, you got to make a statement.
Is it worth it to play that classic at that point?
Exactly. So but yeah, it was kudos to him, man, for kind of speaking out on that. But hey, we also got to talk, man. We got to shout out to HBCU Nightly, who kind of put it on us and charged us and several others to do a top 10, HBCU top 10. So I do want to recap. So let's bring up ours. We got our top 10 here, and let's take a look. At number 10, we got Alcorn State, who comes in at 0-1. At number 9, we got Texas Southern, who comes in at 0-1. Texas Southern played a very close game with Prairie View. Number 8, you got Howard, who by far had the most impressive loss. I know that's kind of odd to say.
Oxymoron.
Yeah, they had the most impressive loss of the weekend. Probably, and realistically, you probably could say performance. They went toe-to-toe with FBS program Eastern Michigan.
Outgained
them. At one point, they were down by 17 points and came back and made it a one-possession game, ended up losing by 10. If I'm not mistaken, they only allowed 3 points in the second half.
They definitely outplayed Eastern Michigan for most of that ball game.
Yeah, so that was huge. Then at number 7, you got Hampton, who surprised a lot of people with their play. They looked, I'm choosing my words carefully. They looked crisp against Grambling, a Grambling defense who we thought was going to be dominant this year, but they came out and played very well against Grambling. Quarterback, God, I can't even think of the kid's name, but he ended up winning the and we talked about it on Monday. He ended up winning the CAA Conference Player of the Week. Had 4 total touchdowns, over 280 all-purpose yards. But he looked good there. Jackson State, who is and I want to ask Coach TC Taylor. I'll probably ask him Monday. They went from a blowout win to a blowout loss. They come in at number 6. At number 5, Bama State coming in at 1-0 with a very impressive win over Southern. At number 4, Prairie View A&M, who we mentioned played in a almost, I would say, instant classic against Texas Southern in the Labor Day Classic down in Texas. Houston, Texas at that. FAMU, Coach Willie Simmons finally getting that monkey off their back. Say what?
You skipped one.
I skipped one. Number 3. My bad, Banks. Number 3. The no longer what they call them, no longer the benevolent Bears, but the mighty, Morgan State Bears out of B-More came in, you know, saying number 3, 1-0. Then number 2, as I was saying, Coach Willis Simmons getting that monkey off his back in a very impressive win. Then at number 1, defending HBCU national champions, North Carolina Central, who made light work of Winston-Salem. Man,
I do want to clarify that this is
yes,
a D1 FCS
yes,
poll. There was a lot
correct.
of comments about Benedict and all these other schools who deservingly would be ranked if this was a FBS. I mean, if this was a FCS Division 2 and, you know, strictly all HBCUs, but this is just a FCS Division 1 poll. Probably should have clarified that. That's on us, but yeah, we'll be doing this weekly. So tune
I'm looking
in
forward
every
to
week
next week.
to see how
Yeah.
because next week there's so many good games. This week that's gonna affect those rankings. So next week should be very interesting.
Yeah. Gerard Lott said, I like this ranking. 100.
Appreciate it.
We try to be unbiased. I know it's not, you know, so it's not gonna be perfect. There's some people we probably could slide up, some people we could slide down, or some teams we could put in there. But base is there several different things. It's not just, you know, what win loss definitely matters, but also how you look, how teams, the eye test has to, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion, when you're doing rankings, the eye test has to, you know, be a part of it. Something else, man, I want to say about the whole D1, D2. I know a few D2 teams. I don't watch enough D2 HBCU football or D2 football period to do that justice. I would be blindly guessing. I know some teams that look really good, and I give them full credit. And then I'm gonna let some bias. I'm definitely gonna have some bias in there because Tuskegee gonna be in the top 5. Bluefield State gonna be in the top 5. Shout out to Coach Coaxum, man, with that very impressive win. I don't think we talked. I don't know if we talked. I think we did.
No, we didn't talk. We mentioned them, but we didn't talk about the game. But yeah, big win over Livingstone.
Yeah, big win. You know what I'm saying, going in. Also Benedict looked great. Kentucky State with that new offense looked really good. So Fort Valley State in a loss to Tuskegee, they look good. So you know, I definitely don't want to you know what I'm saying, I don't want to just go in there blindly guessing. That'll be a disservice to y'all. Our man Melanated, and listen, I mentioned it on HBCU Nightly. I mentioned it in Twitter. Hey, this man, I'm telling you, that man, they got to spread his folks. But he said definitely gonna see some changes after Saturday. Southern and Jackson State got to take a step forward, or their season will be on the brink of collapse as far as championships. Yes. Now, the interesting thing about that game, actually, you know what? Save it because that's on the docket. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yes, sir.
That. Big Reek, what's good? Big Reek from HU Pirate Ship. Check them out, man. If you want to know anything about Hampton, definitely check out Big Reek and Jeff Hamptonite. They talk some good ball over there, man. Hey, and you want to talk about unbiased? My God, them dudes will talk straight up about Hampton and won't hold back and will be real with it. So definitely appreciate them. Definitely appreciate them. But man, let's do this, man. Before we move on, you know what I'm saying? I know we say we got a full slate of games. Talk about week 2. Any closing thoughts on week 1?
Man, we got a lot of questions answered in week 1. But I feel like as many questions were answered, I feel like that many new questions came out.
Okay. Let me ask you this, and I'm gonna answer first. If you had to think of one word to describe week 1, what would it be? Me personally, my week 1 word: overreact.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people are going to overreact one way or the other. You got some teams who who everybody looking at saying they might not win another game this season. And you got some teams on there that people looking at like they finna win the championship automatically.
Yeah, I think that's a good word.
Because the way it's looking now, I'm trying not to overreact, but Hampton going to the FCS playoffs.
Mine would be
I'm sorry, not Hampton. Morgan State. Morgan State going to the
Morgan
FCS
State.
playoffs.
I don't know. They might be in the Celebration Bowl.
Oh,
that would be over. That would be overreaction, right?
Yeah. Josh, I didn't say it.
No, I'm just saying we're talking about overreacting. You know what I mean, based off one performance.
You right.
But mine might be upset. Because not to mention what we saw with Morgan and Richmond, but also all the D2 schools winning. I guess you could call Hampton over Grambling an upset. You know what I mean? I just feel like there was a lot of games. There was a lot of games that didn't go the way we thought they would go.
Morgan, Richmond, the 3 games of the D2 over D1 HBCUs. Yeah, definitely upset was definitely a very proper word. Very proper word. But man, listen, we here for a good time, not a long time. Let's start about this week 2. First game on the docket that I want to jump on is one of the first games I think when it comes to when I mentioned earlier about FCS, I'm sorry, about HBCU over FBS, FAMU versus South Florida.
I could see it.
Does FAMU have enough to take down South Florida?
It depends on which FAMU we see. If they play like they did in their first half, I definitely think that they're capable of it. And I know the second half, I know they didn't score, and I know you asked Coach Simmons about that, and he said there was a bunch of different factors that played into it, but it just didn't look as crisp in the second half to me as they did in the first half. So if they come out playing like they did in the first half, I think so. You talking about a South Florida team that went one game last year, something like that. They got a new coach, new quarterback, young redshirt freshman quarterback. So this definitely a team that's capable of being beaten. It just depends on which version of FAMU we see.
And granted, you're absolutely correct, but this is also a South Florida team that was a play or two away from beating Florida last year as well. I mean, granted, Florida was not, the best, but when you look at the level of competition,
I mean, that's true. That's true. But they gave up 41 points. This South Florida team gave up 41 points for week 1 to Western Kentucky. So Western Kentucky offensively throws the ball around the yard a lot, which kind of bode well in the Jeremy Musa having a big game. So I guess for FAMU has the quarterback to beat them. It all just depends on which version of Musa we see. I don't think South Florida is very good. ESPN only gives FAMU a 7% chance to win.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's a terrible prediction.
Yeah, that's way too low. I think South Florida would probably be favored still, but I think it probably be closer to 70-30, 60-40, somewhere around there as far as FAMU's chance to win.
Yeah. This goes back to what I talked about previously. I talked about it before the South Carolina State, Jackson State MEAC SWAC MEAC challenge. These games, like the favored and stuff. Now that one actually turned out that Jackson State should have been favored by that much. But these games, and when it goes to Vegas and stuff, a lot of people, a lot of cappers don't cover FCS. A lot of cappers don't even look at HBCUs, period. So these numbers are often skewed. I understand if ESPN does the whole kind of computer thing and generates and stuff, but there's definitely bias when it comes to looking at statistics, looking at different things. I think FAMU has what it takes. Those trench. First of all, if you look at the trenches, we know FAMU has recruited the portal, and they're not just getting, any Jimmy Joe off the, off the block. They're getting former 5-stars, former, high school All-Americans. They're getting top name talent that comes from D1 programs, and they're filling up their trenches. So pound for pound, FAMU might be more talented than South Florida.
Yeah, in the trenches, it's probably going to be pretty much a wash. So I think it bodes well for the FAMU upset there.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something else that I think helps FAMU out. The way they are able to run the ball with Yant and those guys. First of all, that dude there is it should be illegal to be that big and that fast. And for him to have that much power, the way that he was able to move against Jackson State, and Coach Simmons actually talked about this. They got the ball back with 7 minutes left on the clock. With the new rules, first downs don't kill the clock no more. They don't stop the clock. They really, realistically can play keep away. Get on the board, and as our friend, Melanator says, he said he think FAMU stuns USF in the first half and probably coast to a win. I don't know if it's necessarily, it'd be the same thing like the Jackson State game, but if they get a lead, they can coast.
Yeah, they got 2 good backs that they can lean on. Yeah. So with this new clock rules, they could easily chew up a lot of time, force South Florida into kind of get out of what they want to do, because South Florida gonna want to run the ball too. They had like 160 some yards rushing last game, so they're gonna try to want to run the ball too. If you can get an early lead, hold on to that ball and force South Florida to be one dimensional on offense to get away from that running game, could be a good game for FAMU.
I like it. So that's my first HBCU over FCS game. FBS game.
Texas Southern revenge gonna shake back and get in the win column this week. That's your other one?
No. That's not where I was going.
Grambling gonna beat LSU this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do not promote drug use on this program. Man.
I'm just saying. Man. Okay.
Morgan State versus Akron. Akron has been a terrible program of late. I guess you could say. I guess that's the best way to put it. But Morgan State is coming off a big win over CAA offensive powerhouse Richmond. So to see Morgan State come in with the defense that I have been high on all offseason, well, most people have. I know I definitely have. I believe in Morgan State's defense. If they can come in and slow down Akron enough, I think they got what it takes to squeak out a upset.
I think it's possible.
I'm not like I will say I'm not as high on this one as I am on the FAMU South Florida, but I do have belief.
Really,
I got faith in them.
Really,
yeah. I wouldn't put it in the parlay, but I definitely. I wouldn't even pick Morgan State to win outright. But I'll pick them to cover the spread.
I mean, Akron lost to Temple, bro. Like, I think Akron is worse offensively. What I'm worried about is, can Morgan State store enough points to beat Akron? I think Morgan State's defense is gonna hold their own, but it ain't like Morgan State lit up the scoreboard last weekend. So
Right.
can they score enough points to beat Akron? I think is what it's going to ultimately come down to. ESPN give them a 5.7% chance. So I like their chances a little more than that. I might agree with you. I think FAMU might have a better shot now that I think about it.
Yeah. I got FAMU. Definitely. I hate to say it like this. I wouldn't sweat as hard on putting money line bet on FAMU as I would Morgan State, but yeah. So, but yeah, I think it can be done though. So, matter of fact, let me ask this: we make predictions. Do you want to predict these, or you just want to wait till we get the HBCU like HBCU on HBCU games to make a prediction?
We could predict them. I mean, I'm not gonna predict Morgan State to beat Akron, but I predict them that it's close.
Okay.
I say 21-14, 21-13, something like that. FAMU, I think FAMU wins. I think they win 24-21.
Give me FAMU 28-17.
Oh, you got them winning convincingly.
I got them winning convincingly. Now, Morgan State, I'm going to pick Morgan State. But I'm kind of with you. Give me Morgan State 16-10.
Let me ask you this. Are you concerned about Morgan State getting up after a big win over Richmond?
No. I think the Richmond game was I think that one was being circled on the calendar because Banks talked about it. Yeah, it was circled on the calendar.
And you finally got that win.
I think they have confidence now. I think it's more or less
okay. So you got to go the other way.
Yeah. I think they more got confidence now. Like, all right, we can do this. So
I got you.
Yeah, so Terrence Roberts said, "Man, y'all got me cheesing over here picking FAMU." Hey, listen, I just not enough offense for Morgan State is going to cost them a couple games. I agree, but I think Morgan State is going to play up to competition and play. Morgan State's going to. I think here's the crazy thing about it. I think Morgan State's going to lose to a team they shouldn't lose to. They're going to win these two big games and they're going to lose to a game they shouldn't lose to.
I mean, I hope you're right. I might be giving them too much credit, but
I
could just see after you, like you said, you circled that game on the calendar. You've been wanting that game. You finally got that game. I could see these 17 to 21-year-olds. You know what I mean? I could see them kind of like settling a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the word I'm looking at? Like being content. You know what I'm saying? Like
complacent.
Complacent. That's the word I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like get complacent, and then, but by the time you get out there on the field with Akron, you realize, man, we could play with these dudes, but you already down 7-10 points. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like I just wondered, are they gonna be up like they were for that Richmond game back-to-back weeks?
I think they Cardi beat this thing. It's up and it's up and it's up and they stuck. But nah, man, I think they're gonna be ready for this one. I think the Akron game is gonna be. I think it'll be. They'll play. It'll be a game. Let me look at that. Let me pull up Morgan State schedule because I could tell you what I mean.
I hope you're right. I'm kind of with Rick on this one, man. I don't know if they're gonna have enough offense, and I'm worried about them getting up.
And that's why I said that's why I said that like 16-10, where they can get down and kick field goals. Townsend, they got Townsend after this, so I can see them winning against Akron and going to Townsend with the big. Well, they playing Townsend coming in town. They got the big head. And then they lose, and they lose.
You could argue they got the big head right now. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're
You
right.
just be the top 25 team, FCS top 25 team. That you kind of look at as like you said, circle down when you they top 25. We beat them at their place. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
could argue they got the big head right now.
I just don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Akron's offense is dynamic enough to and the difference in to me, Morgan State, like FAMU, has size. Because one, the MEAC, that's one thing the MEAC has done is had these massive humans when it comes to the trenches. I do believe that that part will help Morgan State, where they defense can get out there and get out to Akron like they got out to Richmond and slow them down. Akron's offense was not that good. Richmond's offense was arguably, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was supposed to be this explosive offense, and they didn't look like that against Morgan State last week. So
that's true. That's true.
I think I guess what I'm saying, defense can win this game. And they can win close. Then they'll go into Townsend or who was after Townsend? Albany. I keep saying go in. They'll play Townsend or they'll play Albany and slip up or something. So I can see it. Either way, man. Either way.
I say this. Akron was up 21-7 last week and they lost 24-21. They didn't score in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the team that put up 21 points in the first half? Or are they the team that didn't score?
Who they play last week too? By chance. Oh yeah, Temple. So you did just say they lost to Temple.
So they had quick strike touchdown early on in the game, 77 yards, and then they scored twice in the second quarter to go up 21-7. Then they didn't score again. Which Akron team are they? I think that could, if it's the Akron team from the second half, that could factor into what you're saying. They have trouble scoring, and it's that type of game Morgan State can, ugly up, muddy up, and win. If it's the team that's clicking and getting quick strike touchdowns, then it might not be. It might be the game. I'm kind of considering that does Morgan have enough offense?
Some we don't talk about a lot that special teams. Melanated says, I think special team play for Morgan is going to be important. They'll need huge punt returns or kick returns to give the offense a short field. And that's big.
Or turnovers on defense.
There you go.
If they can get some strip sacks, if they can get some interceptions, that's just as good as a special teams play. So that could be a big factor in it as well.
Yeah. So listen, Banks, you ought to be happy. We just talked almost 11 minutes on Morgan State. But nah, man, I am looking forward to that game. Remind me, I'm gonna post up too. A lot of these games, they, saying where you can find them on TV and stuff. I'm gonna post that. Next game on the docket, Aggie-Eagle Classic. You got North Carolina A&T.
The Eagle Aggie Classic.
Or Eagle Aggie Classic, however you want to look at it. You got North Carolina A&T welcoming in the defending champs of North Carolina Central. 100-year rivalry.
Are you surprised that A&T is favored?
I am. I am very surprised. I don't see why. I don't get it. I'm missing something.
I'll say I'm more surprised by the amount that they're favored by than the fact that they're favored. It's like 5.5. Yeah. If you told me they was favored by 2.5, you know what I'm saying? I could see that. But 5.5 is a lot. And that's kind of what got me was the amount that was favored by. But yeah, I must be missing something now. Either that or it was just a whole bunch of money coming in.
Listen, no disrespect to Dave, Jamie, all our good friends over at you know what I'm saying, from HBCU United, from the North Carolina A&T side. My cousin Stephanie, I apologize. You know what I'm saying, don't be offended. I just don't see A&T being here. They're picked to finish 10th in the CAA. I don't get it. I don't get. Now I think they're better than 10th, but I don't see the hype.
Did you see anything against UAB that made you feel like they were better than Central?
I saw that they can run the ball and help control the clock, but nothing about their passing attack made me think. It made me think that if Central goes down and scores 2 times, you know, that A&T is going to be able to come back via the pass.
So we just talked about Morgan State.
Bingo. Shout out. Thank you, Reek. 16 passing yards. They threw 8 passes.
We just talked about Morgan State. Does A&T have enough offense to play with Central?
No. In my opinion, no. Absolutely not.
How does A&T win this game?
Lightning strikes.
Morgan State,
Lightning strikes. The bus carrying North Carolina Central's offense is delayed for the game, and the defense has to play offense for North Carolina Central for the first half. That's the only way I see it.
So basically, you're saying it has to be a Morgan State type game.
This game got to get real ugly. In my opinion, it's got to get real ugly for A&T.
Is it supposed to rain or anything? You know, to me, that's what it'll be. It'll have to be like one of them, like monsoon type games, to where like you can't throw the ball. All you can do is run the ball. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be one of them type games.
I'll say this:
if Central can air that thing out, I don't know how
I think they can.
Yeah, I mean, no, they will as long as as weather permitting is what I'm talking about. Like if they can air that thing out, they gonna air that thing out, and A&T ain't gonna be able to keep up.
Give me Central by a lot.
What's a lot?
They just beat. I mean, UAB just beat them 35-6. I was gonna say 28-6, but 35-6 because
should have been.
Yeah, they scored late. I can see this being like 42-13. If you can't pass the ball and you're one dimensional on Central, give me
disrespectful.
Listen.
That means you feel like they're gonna get beat just as bad as UAB beat them.
And look,
I feel you. Trust
they
me,
literally got down and they kicked nothing but field goals that game. They kicked 2 field goals.
That's true.
And I think they can. I think they'll have a little bit more success. They'll have more success. Listen, and if I'm wrong, I promise you, I'm apologizing. I will come. I will be Wednesday night. Hey, A&T fans, I sincerely apologize.
You're gonna have to do that Monday night, though.
Oh yeah, Monday. You know what I'm saying? Sincerely apologize. I will. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I might have to do it on Sunday. Give me. You know what? I mean, this might be how. You know what I'm saying? Maybe hyperbole. You know what I'm saying? Let me walk it back a little bit. I'm not gonna say 42. I'm not gonna say 42. But I can see this being like 31-13.
Okay, that's a little more okay. That's a little more reasonable.
But if it hit 40 something, you know I'm
gonna get a phone call. Do you see this go?
Hey, listen, I'm playing lottery numbers that night.
Oh man, let's see. I was gonna say 34-17.
Okay.
I I'm with you. I don't know if they can score enough, but I just don't see it being
And listen, when
a
you say
28-point beat
the
down.
when you talk about Central, and North Carolina A&T, this is, like I said, this is a 100-year rivalry.
That's true. I didn't even think of that rivalry game gonna make it be. It ain't gonna be that bad of a blowout. It's gonna be.
Why not? So you know what? Not Central. A&T has been wearing shirts say 99-0. Well, back-to-back years they beat them 45-0 and 54-0. I promise you, in David Rashard's last year, he gonna try to put up 700 yards passing on them. He gonna try to break all kind of records. Trey Oliver gonna try to be. He's going to be disrespectful.
That's true.
Because it's been a lot of talk. It's been a lot of poo-poo talk in this game. So, and I understand it's the fans and not necessarily.
Man. It's a rivalry.
Man, listen, we've seen rivalries be some huge blowouts.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of times where it ain't supposed to be close and it's close.
Man, absolutely, that's true. Let me ask you this: if it's just talent wise, what you know of Central with 90% of their roster coming back, including the quarterback.
I mean, I just told you. I think talent wise, I think they're about 17 points better.
And, you know, okay, I mean? and then I was gonna say, with A&T, with a new coach,
that's
a
true,
defensive minded coach.
But you make your most improvements from week 1 to week 2. So
yeah, Central gonna improve from how much they beat Winston-Salem by.
That's Winston-Salem though, bro.
How much they beat them by?
I don't remember. It was like 42-13 or something like that.
So they're gonna make their most improvement, as in adding a whole bunch of more points.
Man, all right. So what you doing right now is not even translatable, dog.
I know. Right now, I'm just making. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just making content. But no, seriously though, I do think
they beat Winston-Salem 47-21.
So I can see 31-13. I can see that. I can see
Winston-Salem put up 21 points. You don't think that A&T could put up 21 points?
No. I'm not saying they can't. I just don't see it right now.
31-21 Central.
That's fair. We might have to do like a Price is Right, who the closest without going over. All right, man. This next one, man, Lane versus Alabama A&M. I want to see how A&M comes out, if they are going to put this game away like they supposed to. I want to see if the QB battle is over.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't it be?
It should be, but and granted, I do love, you know what I'm saying, Coach Maynard's response when asked about the QB battle. He basically said that Quad Brown did nothing to take the job away from Langford, and Langford did nothing to give the job away. I mean, to nothing to say, hey, I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
So simple, so funny.
So yeah, I think now that you got your quarterback figured out, I think now you just need to keep taking the next steps offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Show some had some high moments against Vanderbilt.
Yes.
It wasn't all ugly. Especially when Langford was in a quarterback. I mean, threw for 100 yards and a touchdown. Defensively is what I want to see. They didn't play terrible against Vanderbilt, but they should handle Lane pretty easily defensively.
Yes.
Now, so that's offensively. I know we got a lot of question marks, but defensively, I think is what I want to see the most.
Now, I do want to say this. I want to say this with caution. Lane College went in and beat they went in and beat Tennessee State last year. So they can't be taken lightly. They did get beat. They did get beat last week by Miles in Memphis, 24-37 or 37-24. I think that A&M will probably unleash the offense a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let go. If Langford's their man, they're gonna, let it loose. Give me A&M. Give me A&M 28-14.
Give me A&M 35-17.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Now, speaking of Tennessee State, Tennessee State and UAPB in the what's this classic called? I don't even know. It was the one with Jackson State used to be in with Tennessee State.
What dang, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Southern Heritage.
Southern Heritage Classic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Both teams come in on one after playing against FBS opponents. UAPB took on Tulsa, and look, I put it like this: for a whole quarter, I thought UAPB was going to shock the world. For the whole first quarter, and had several chances, and probably should have made that game a lot closer than what it ended up being. But different mistakes and stuff pretty much put that game away for them. And then you got Tennessee State, who, as Zach said, opened up and looked really good against Notre Dame. So shout out to D-Law, man. He was loving the Coach Hampton interview. Well, I say interview, the Coach Hampton segment of the SEC. Lord, why I keep saying the SWAC teleconference. First of all, Coach Hampton got all the energy, such a major energy. Great dude. So, but yeah, who what you think? Who gets their first win?
This one tough to pick.
This is I'll say this. This is a must win for Tennessee State. I hate to say that game 2 of the season. This is a must win for Tennessee State because it's not going to get any easier down the road.
Their schedule is pretty tough. I think UAPB is a season away. I think they keep this one close, but I think Tennessee State pulls it out in the end. I think it's going to be like a 24-20 type game.
Ooh, okay. I can see this being something like 27-28.
Yeah.
Like a 1-point game. I can see this game coming down to somebody going for 2 and possibly not getting it, or somebody going for 2 to win. D-Law says neither Tennessee State or UAPB really know what each other has. I think actually, so I can't speak on Tennessee State quite as much because I didn't see the game. But I do want to say what I saw out of UAPB, I know defensively they tough. I know that offensively they got some weapons. They can move the ball. They were moving the ball almost at will the entire first half actually against Tulsa. Give me UAPB 28-27. I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee State. In a close one. I'd say 23-20, something like that.
Yeah. All right. The next one, and this game actually got a lot more interesting because of last week. Battle of the Bay, Norfolk State versus Hampton.
That got
And
interesting.
It's only interesting on one side.
I'm about to say it ain't interesting.
It's only interesting on one side. This is interesting. Do we see Hampton go 2-0? And matter of fact, when was the last time Hampton? I mean, but when's the last time Hampton was 2-0?
I don't know the answer.
Where you at, Reek? Reek drop
I don't
that
know
in.
the answer to that question, but this game ain't interesting to me because of what happened last week. Well, I shouldn't say that. I feel like Norfolk. I know they lost last week, but to a D2 school in the most ridiculous fashion possible.
Yeah.
So I guess it's interesting to me to see how they bounce back from that. Do they bounce back like try to revenge some things, or do they kind of just keep snowballing downhill? I'd be interested to see how Coach Odoms prepares his team to bounce back from there. I guess you could say heartbreaking defeat, considering you had a chance to win on the final play and give up a touchdown. So I guess it's interesting in that sense to see how they respond. Grant for Hampton's side, obviously took care of business versus Grambling. Looked good offensively versus Grambling. I guess now the question is, can you keep that offensive momentum moving forward, and can you kind of tighten up things defensively? Because I know you won, but you gave up 300 yards passing and let Miles Crowley put on a clinic. So it's interesting for both teams, but I don't know if the game is going to be interesting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm more interested to see how Hampton looks coming off that big win over Grambling. Now that you're favored to win, how do you look?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's what I want to see. So he said, now we're not there, Jamon. We're not even there yet. But next game on this hill.
I thought when you said it got interesting after last weekend, I thought you was talking about that game in Baton Rouge.
No. No. Now that will be, yeah, we're gonna get there. This one is probably gonna be the HBCU NYC Classic. This is the, I guess you could say, HBCU name bowl, because you got two of the biggest name in HBCUs with Morehouse versus Howard.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I'm not gonna say Morehouse doesn't stand a chance, but
Howard should win.
Howard should win big. Do they get beat twice by Eastern Michigan? Or will this be a, bounce back game where they show, what they actually look like, how good they really are?
I think they're gonna flex their muscle.
Gotcha. What score wise? We didn't do score for Hampton Norfolk. I don't even want to. That's gonna be
yeah. I really don't even want to do this for Howard Morehouse neither.
Okay. Yeah, we can skip it. But yeah, but both of us taking Howard. Yeah, I think that's gonna be
pretty convincingly.
In honor of my man E2, I hope you're feeling better, man. Get well, brother. Miles versus Alabama State. I know he gonna say Miles by 40 or something like that. Miles, like we talked about earlier, coming off a big win over Lane, 37-24. Alabama State coming off a win over Southern, 14-10. Will Alabama State offense continue to improve? I'm gonna be honest with you. My biggest concern ain't even the offense right now for Alabama State.
What's your concern?
Special teams gonna cost them a game this year if they don't get that right.
Oh, yeah, kicking
Maybe
game.
even 2, because it almost cost them against Southern. Let's be real.
Yeah, the kicking game. I can see that. I think they get on track offensively in that game for sure.
Yeah. I know Miles is the last 2 years, Miles has been very close. This game has been closer than comfort for Alabama State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when you might need that kicking game then.
Yeah. So that's a concern. So I know Coach Robson, Coach E. Rob said that that they talked with the kicker. He understands why the guy missed why the kicks were missed, and they know how to fix it, and so they're gonna go from there. I don't know if it was like, hey, my shoelace is untied or or what. So but yeah, yeah. So here's the crazy thing about it, Ant. This was something I had never seen this in my life before. Pre-game, Alabama State kicker was kicking. Well, all the team, the team is warming up on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So the kicker was literally on the out of bounds boundary, had the ball teed up, and was kicking at an angle field goals. I had never seen that in my life, but he was kicking field goals. And he was making them. So I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I said, I've never seen anybody do that, set up and kick like that. But he was hitting them. So I was like, okay, well, cool. Game kicked off.
Too bad he can't kick from out of bounds in the game.
I swear, I literally, and I kid you not, I literally told BJ, I said, BJ, pre-game, I saw this kid kicking from the sideline. BJ looked at me like, yes. I said, I've never seen that in my life. I said, I saw him kicking from over there. I said, I wonder if they'll set up and let him kick from over there again. Kid you not. Yeah. Now Jamon says Jags beat theyself. I would like to agree with you, but that is completely false. Alabama State defense completely changed that game in the second half. Now, Harold Blood looked good in the first half. He looked amazing on the first drive. But Southern did not make any adjustments. So, which brings me to my next game. The Boombox Classic, man. It's going down in Montford. And I know BJ said don't call it that. But I'm a fan. I'm going to call it. Oh, by the way, I do want to say there was an upset last week that nobody talked about. And I'm finna start some mess. Alabama State band upset Southern band. I don't care what nobody say. Might drop. So
I wasn't there, so I can't comment on that. But
listen, YouTube don't lie. Tape don't lie.
You're right.
Now I will say there was a real good halftime show. Southern had a amazing halftime show. Great. And Southern sounded good, but Alabama State they came with it. They came with it. And I was impressed. I was like, okay, well, yeah. And Jamon said, nah, son, listen. Yeah, son. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. So, but yeah, Boombox Classic, Jackson State, Southern. Who gets back on the winning track? Also, this is a non-conference game.
Yeah, I know. Oh man.
which makes this that adds an element of interesting in it as well, because it counts for nothing but bragging rights.
It counts for nothing but everything at the same time.
Yep.
As bad as I want to say Southern wins, I don't really trust Dooley in-game adjustments at this point right now.
Hold on. Jamon said, hold on. I want Jamon said, hold on. I'm sorry. You ever heard Southern in person? I was literally on the sideline last week in the stadium watching this happen. That's why I'm saying it. Bruh. I would love to sit there and say, you know what I'm saying? Oh, both bands play. And then listen, both bands were amazing. But yeah. Jay White say Southern gonna be 0-2 or JSU gonna be 1-2. That's
yeah, that's facts.
If we lose, Dooley about to fill that hot seat. I don't think so.
Well,
I mean, I know it's already rumblings, but
he might as well get used to standing up then, because I believe that seat gonna be hot.
Yeah,
cause I just don't trust him at this point to make the adjustments needed offensively to win. I mean, defensively they're doing their thing, but they offensively they haven't looked good, bro. And we seen Jackson State struggle offensively last game, but
that's a question. That's a question I got for you. Did Jackson State Jackson State's offense, granted, they struggle. Is that more indicative on Jackson State's offense or more of a
FAMU defense?
FAMU defense, an implication of how good FAMU's defense is?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out this weekend.
Ooh.
You talking about Jared question? Yeah.
Yeah. Which fan base do y'all think will be hotter taking the L? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now. After last week, all the trash talk from this offseason about the Blue Blossom Classic and this, that, and the other. If Southern lose, they're gonna blame Dooley. They might say we got the wrong quarterback and they're gonna move on and blase. If Jackson State lose, Jackson State fans have, well, I'm not gonna say fans. There have been several Jackson State faithful who have blocked people. They've been cussing people out. They have been deleting their accounts, social media, and that was to a FAMU team that was predicted to win the SWAC preseason. Imagine them losing to a Southern team that people don't even think gonna win the division. Who's picked what, third or fourth in the division? What was Southern pick?
I think third.
Yeah. So imagine, and that's a rival. Imagine.
See, I'm going the other way.
Okay.
I'm saying Southern. And I feel like Jackson State fans are going to be like, it's TC first year. It's a non-conference game. It don't mean nothing. We only lost one.
Yeah.
But we
go
only
ahead.
lost
I'm sorry.
we only lost one SWAC game. We only lost one SWAC game. This ain't even a SWAC game. Y'all can't beat us in the actual SWAC game. And whereas, like Jamon said, Dooley on the hot seat if they lose. We already know. He said if Jackson lose, they better leave quickly and quietly. Like Southern fans are gonna be hot because they got them at home. You got them TC first year. They just lost to FAMU. They vulnerable. Southern need this win. If Southern lose, you're going to have people calling for Dooley to get fired. You're going to have people calling for the quarterback to get changed. You're going to have people calling for all kind of stuff to happen. If Jackson State lose, they fan base is going to be like, I feel like they fan base is going to be hot because they're going to be taking stuff from other fan bases, not because they lost the game, if that makes sense.
Listen, if Jackson State lose this game, I understand what you're saying. If Jackson State lose this game, people are going to be. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, if Jackson State lose and Colorado win, people gonna be so mad and saying we need to bring
But
Deion back, and I forgive
he's not
him, and I'm
coming
so
back.
sorry.
It ain't like
I know
they
he's
made
not,
that
but I'm
choice.
just saying it's gonna be so many excuses, and it's gonna be. We talked about overreactions. People gonna overreact and be like, first people gonna be like, I told y'all Deion built that program. It's gonna be a whole bunch of foolishness.
Yeah, but
A
that's not from
whole
Jackson
bunch.
State fans.
The fans gonna. Listen. The fans gonna. They're already in their feelings.
I feel like you letting a small portion of their fan base, the loudest portion of their fan base.
I was just gonna say I must be talking about the loudest. That
But that's
portion is
I don't
very
feel
loud.
like that's their whole. I don't feel like that's really what they fan base. I feel like that's a few fans who just over the top who are feeling like that. Like you got like Jamon, like every Southern fan I know is saying if they lose this game, Dooley got to go. I haven't seen one Southern fan basically say that Dooley cool and Dooley safe. Everyone I know feel like he need to go.
Jared said if JSU lose, the thrill will really be gone. Right now, they're still holding on to some hope. If they win, this is redemption for them. And I can agree with that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
And see, Swag fans said back-to-back big games for Jackson. They definitely need this W. And you can say the same thing for Southern. They was first half playing right there with Alabama State, dropped that game, and then if they lose this game too, I mean, let me see what their schedule look like going forward. I don't know what Southern schedule look like going forward, but then they in there.
Now you know what this one said, but them SU fans crazy, and last year almost blew a gasket when they lost to TSU.
So then they got all right. So they got Jackson State, then Alabama A&M, then Pine Bluff, then FAMU. If they go into FAMU 1-3. Ooh, Jackson State got Texas State next. Ooh, that's the team that just beat Baylor.
Yeah. So that's another because I remember talking about this. We were saying Jackson State could easily start the season 0-4 or 1-3.
Yeah, but I mean, you lose to Texas State. What is that? Does that really mean anything compared to losing to if Southern start the season 1-3 with losses to Alabama State, Jackson State, and Alabama A&M?
Where's that A&M game at?
It's Southern.
Oh, okay.
If you lose 2 home games,
that's true.
In your
I
first
get
3 games,
yeah. Man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of concede that point. I understand. I think and you right. I think I'm maybe mostly blinded by the loud few.
Mm-hmm. And to your point, that loud few, if they lose this game, it's gonna get ugly for them.
Misery love company, and they gonna be.
So who gonna win this game?
Oh shoot, we ain't even picked the winner. I got Jackson State. Unfortunately, honestly, Jackson State got a little bit more offense than I'm not gonna say defense is a wash, but I think Jackson State got more offense than they got enough offense to put points on the board, and I don't know if Dooley is going to make second half adjustments.
You got a score or just
I think this will be a like a 7-point game. I think this will be like 21-14, something like that. 28-21. I can see it something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar to that. I had like 24-16, something like that.
Yeah.
24-17 Jackson.
All right. This next game.
Called it the We Can't Lose Bowl.
Jay White. Oh man. We can't lose bowl. That's funny. All right. So, all right, next one, Savannah State versus Bethune-Cookman. I got this one up here. First home game for Bethune under new head coach Raymond Woody. Let's he get his first win and Bethune's first win of the season.
Oh, that's gonna be a tough one, man. Savannah State ain't no pushover.
They just play. Bethune just came off a loss to Memphis. Let me look that up. I want to say it was like 41-13 or something, which is funny because we keep coming back, seem like to that same score.
Right.
Let's see, what was that score? I'm sorry, 56-14. So, and let's see who Savannah State. Savannah State just came off a win.
They beat Southeastern University 23-20.
Okay. Oh, close one. So it's not. I mean, as you said, they're not a pushover. It's gonna be rough, man. I think this. I'm not gonna say it's a must win, but you got if you Bethune-Cookman, you got to get this win to get a little momentum because you got Miami after this. You go to Miami, to Jackson State, to Alabama State, and then you're home against Texas Southern, then you're home against Southern, and then you go to the hole and play Grambling.
I say this might be this and Valley might be their only shot to win the game this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bethune. I think for that reason, I think that they're gonna come out with a point to prove their first home game under Coach Woody.
What's good, Kel?
I'm gonna go Bethune, and I don't think it's gonna necessarily be close.
Kale said Savannah State almost lost to NAIA team last week. They better not. This better not be close.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. After saying that 23-20 score, I don't think it's gonna be necessarily that close. Give me 28-10. Bethune.
They put up 14 on Memphis.
Well, you're right. It'd probably be more than that. Give me 34-10. Bethune.
I'm gonna go 31-10. 31-10 Bethune. All right. Next on the docket, man. I think this is a revenge game. Alcorn takes on Stephen F. Austin. I think this game slipped away from him last year. Give me I think this is I think Jarvian Howard goes off. I think Macon finds his footing. Give me Alcorn. 28-24.
I'm worried about Alcorn defense in this game. Stephen F. Austin like to put up points. They put up 30 against Troy last week.
I almost cuss. Because I can't. I hate Troy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, they gave up 30. I think Alcorn, if they feed Howard and they like we talked about with the new clock rules and all that, I think that'll help them. I'll go Alcorn. Give me a 31-28.
Yeah. He said, Kel said, let me we gonna see what Tyler Macon got this week. Jamon said he going with Alcorn on this one. So
yeah, I'll go Alcorn. I think you're gonna have to put up some points.
Yes.
You're gonna have to put up some points though.
Yeah. Another one. Another big revenge game. Abilene Christian and Prairie View A&M. Prairie View had the lead last year, let it go.
Mhm.
Let Abilene Christian come back and take this from them, snatch it from them. Prairie View already said they, you know what I'm saying, they here to get their respect. They had a big comeback last week, down 17, end up going to overtime and winning it all. Trayvon Conley, sweat player of the
Looked
week,
good. Looked good.
offensive player of the week.
What this game at?
Overall, he I have to say overall he outplayed Andrew Body in the whole game. Andrew Body definitely outplayed him in the first half though.
I would agree. This game in preview.
I think it's at I'm trying to hold on, let me pull it up so I can be factual. I want to say this at PV because I think that's how I wrote it down.
Ooh.
So yes, it's at PV.
Yeah, I'm going PV.
Yeah. Give me PV. I think this one is with the back and forth we saw last week. 35-31 PV.
28-23 PV.
All right. Man, the last one I got, Grambling at LSU. And
Boy,
this one,
stop it.
this ain't even a whole listen. This what I don't think let me put it like this.
We should have broke down South Carolina State and Georgia Tech then.
Now, the reason why I want to do this one, it's something because of something you said the other day. This is a game to showcase Sunday Alder Anderson, for him to get a chance to see to show his I guess you could say his makeup, his ability in the against a top FBS program. Swag fan 100 said Grambling by 20. Simple was in here early. He said Grambling gonna whoop LSU. That's funny.
Funny, man.
What you want to say? He said 56-7 LSU. That might realistically happen. But he also
Grambling gonna score more than 7 though.
I do too. He said PV be having 10 fans in the stadium. It wouldn't matter. I got score wise. I'm not gonna do it. I do want to see Miles Crowley. He's got a real serious chance to put up some numbers and make a name for himself.
Yeah,
he got a real serious chance to do that. And again, like I said, Sonny Alder got a good chance to basically just, you know what I'm saying, have like a Shaq Leonard type game. You know what I'm saying? Make a name for itself on national TV. That's the biggest thing about this matchup. That's why I put that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how Grambling looks defensively.
That's fair. So, and I think based off what LSU showed in that game versus Florida State, Miles gonna have some opportunities to sling that thing around and put up some yards. So it could be beneficial for him as well. But it's gonna get ugly, I think. No disrespect to Grambling, but
not at all.
I think it's gonna get ugly. The main thing in this one is coming out with everybody healthy.
Yeah, big facts. I will say, people will be stuck in traffic longer than this game runs.
Boy, you might if you're trying to go to either one of these games in Baton Rouge, you better leave now. Baton Rouge traffic gonna be backed up so bad this weekend, it ain't gonna be funny, boy.
Yeah. Swag fan say, go and get your bag, Grambling. Yeah, big facts. Big facts. All right, man. I do want to put this up as we get ready to wrap this thing up. I want to put a couple things up here. The schedule, TV schedules for the SWAC and the MEAC. or the schedules period. For week 2, the Delaware State is taking on Army. That's going to be on CBS Sports Network. South Carolina State at Georgia Tech is going to be on ESPN Plus and also on the ACC Network Extra. Morgan State at Akron is going to be on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m. Norfolk State at Hampton is going to be on Flow Football. Morehouse versus Howard is going to be on ESPN Plus. North Carolina Central at North Carolina A&T is going to be on Flow Football. On the SWAC side, you got the Texas Southern at Toledo on ESPN Plus. We didn't break down this game, but I do want to see if Biden shakes off the all the harassment, all the, you know what I'm saying, turnovers and stuff. I want to see how he performs in this game. Bethune taking on South Carolina State. That one is not going to be televised. At least doesn't have it on here. Alabama State versus Miles is going. That one's also doesn't have a television designation. Alcorn versus Stephen F. Austin is going to be on ESPN Plus. That's one I'm gonna tune into. Florida A&M at South Florida is going to be on ESPN Plus. Jackson State Southern is going to be on ESPN Plus. Lane at A&M is going to be on ESPN Plus. Abilene Christian at Prairie View does not have a TV designation. UAPB versus Tennessee State is going to be on HBCU Go. And of course, the Grambling at LSU game is going to be on ESPN Plus. So, all right, man. Is Flow Football on app and app? I think so. It's Flow Sports or something like that. Yeah. It said Dell State don't need to be on nobody's TV. Jamon said we need to come to Southern Saturday. Man, that's a 7.
Coming.
Yeah, I'm not coming. I'm not. So I can't come to long trips like that until later in the season. My little boy play Park League, so I'm trying to catch. I'm gonna end up catching a lot of A&M games. If A&M actually hit me up, you know what I'm saying? Come on, A&M. Come on, look at my face, A&M. Look at my face. Hit me up. I'm trying to get there. Tell me something so I can buy a ticket or something. Shoot. But yeah. Flicks. Kale said he'll take Miles over Bama State.
I'm glad Melanated ain't in here no more.
Well, he might be in here somewhere. You gonna get a nasty little letter. You need to see the agent said you need to see the L. That's funny. That is funny. But man, you got anything else before we get up out of here? Anything we missed? Big games or something like that, or games that's not being talked about?
Well, I think we beat we did most of them. Most of the good ones that's I'm looking forward to at least.
Yeah.
I am with you. I do want to see how Texas Southern bounces back versus Toledo though. And Toledo a pretty good team though, so I'm not really expecting them to win, but I do want to go out there and watch them look pretty impressive.
Yeah. All right, man. UAPB Texas Southern. Yeah, we talked about we did talk about that one a little bit earlier. About the 46-minute mark, 46 and a half minute mark, somewhere around there. So but yeah, man. We'll be back on Monday. We'll have a new power ranking. Well, HBCU top 10. I don't know, man. I ain't got much else. If you can, I do want to say this, because Mo Carter put this out in a tweet. Shout out to Mo. With the whole contract dispute with Spectrum and a lot of these TV services and ESPN, if you can watch these games some kind of way, try to find a way so these numbers won't be, you know what I'm saying? Because HBCU's numbers are being affected immensely because of these contract disputes. A lot of them are down. But if you can, you know, find a way to watch this game somehow, get you a rabbit ear, you know what I'm saying? ESPN Plus shouldn't be that big of an issue because of it's on the app and not necessarily through a TV provider. So if you get a chance, definitely watch these games. Like I said, you don't want to affect those numbers. But let me see what people talking about. We got to kick high.
Adrian.
He said gonna kick you off Team Light Skin. That's funny. That's funny.
Bro.
Yeah.
Why he talking about Jason Brown like that, man?
Boy, y'all too funny. Too funny. But man, like I said, we'll be back on Monday. I'm looking forward to it, man. Another great breakdown, another great weekend of football. But yeah, man, we'll be back on Monday. Like that. We out. This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Bring me my money.